Boom. We're live.
What's going on?
Living the dream.
As always. Getting
Same
closer to
thing we
flying.
do every day.
You're actually current now, right?
I am current. Finally, after a good 3 months of being out of current. So,
Nice.
yep. Now the weather is going to be windy for the whole next 7 days again. So, at least I got it done. I can fly whenever I want.
Is this like one of the first times you've had to get current in a while, outside of a flight review, or was it just flight review?
It was mainly kind of both. The flight review expired in January, so was that 2-3 months ago? But I haven't flown since probably October or November, somewhere in there.
Holy cow!
I know.
I haven't flown since a week and a half ago, and I feel like I'm almost out of currency.
I'm sure. I mean, you were flying almost daily out there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Most days, occasional day off here and there for weather or whatever, and then in the thick of it, sometimes twice a day. So keeps you on your toes.
Nice. Did you count how many hours you got from Arizona?
No, I haven't counted exactly, but I know I crossed 5 minutes into hour 800 on my final flight out there. So I hit 800 hours.
Dang.
I think Sweet, I know I was signing up for an event, and I know in the last 12 months I've done 100 and I want to say it's 160 some hours. So
that's a lot.
Kind of is a lot compared to most, but it's less in the last 12 months than the 12 months prior to that. It was closer to 200. But last year was kind of a yucky weather year.
Yeah. That's impressive, though.
Yeah.
I think I average 50 hours a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My average probably here in Kansas before I started flying elsewhere was probably in the 40s. The most I ever had in a single year was 70 hours, and that was the majority of those happening at out-of-town events, going for Indianola, Albuquerque, wherever you can get in 10 or 15 flights in a row, and that was most of it.
Right.
Yep. All right. Yeah. Should we jump into it then?
Yeah. What are we talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about elbows and land runs. So here's
Everyone's
the rules.
The most exciting task out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, the crews love it because they can see exactly what we're doing, and spectators love it because they know exactly what we're doing too.
Yeah.
Oh, look at him still going east. All right.
Yeah. Why is he going the opposite direction of all those other balloons?
Yeah. And why are they so high?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that one guy screaming in that really high up balloon? Oh, no reason.
That's Casey.
Yeah. That's for the record, I'm the guy that doesn't like to fly high, ironically.
All right. Who wants to elbows and land runs? I guess they're fairly similar tasks. It's just a difference in how you score the task, and how you figure out the result is really different. So you're trying to make 3 points. Huh?
Yeah. No, continue.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're trying to make 3 points, and then with the elbow, it's a difference in the angle from the points versus the land run. It's the biggest area is what we're trying to get to. So sort of somewhat different strategies for each. Who wants to go first? Talk about.
I'll say up front that these are the two tasks that I probably have the least experience with. I think I've only flown either of them maybe 1 or 2 times each. One of these at U.S. Nationals this last year, and then I think the other time I flew, the other one was like Rio Grande Classic in 2018 or 2017 or something. They just get used so infrequently outside of the higher level competitions, I feel like.
Yeah.
But
That's.
I'll let one of you guys
I would
take
definitely
it from
agree
there.
with that. I think for me it's sort of the same thing. Like I haven't really flown them a ton. I've flown maybe a handful of, or like both together a handful of times maybe. So yeah. What do you got for it, Patrick?
What's that?
What do you got for it?
So I've only flown a handful of times as well. I've probably flown the land run more than the elbow. And
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and maybe that's why I think I'm slightly better at the land run, but I'm not great at either. Last year, it was the Great Texas Balloon Race. They did a land run on one of the days, and in this case, it was time based. So point A was one of the previous targets, and then point B was, I believe, like 15 minutes from the time that you made your mark at the previous target. So from the time you made your point on point A, to make your point C. And there was kind of a layer shift where I want to say the speed was kind of lower. And I want to say like somewhere around 1,000 foot off the ground. That's where your speed layer was. But your direction change was high. So my thinking was I didn't want to like fight, because I was already low from point A. So I didn't want to fight my way up to the direction change, which probably would have helped me in the end, because everybody that scored well basically just powered through like the lower winds and basically headed off way north. And my result was like 500. So I did not great, but not terrible, I guess.
You got points. That helps.
Yeah, I got some points. So, yeah.
Trying to pull up my track for that flight because I honestly don't remember it. I remember the beginning part, but I don't remember the land run part.
Yeah, and I might have my times mixed up because I'm pretty sure I stayed in the fast layer on the short time frame, and that's what like helped me. So I kind of ran it backwards, wherein because a few of us talked about it after the flight, and we just compared to like what did the other guys do and like how would they score, and it was like all the guys that flew in the fast winds for the longer period of time did exceptionally well. So I guess that'd be my one takeaway from that.
It definitely makes it more interesting when they add a time component or something like that. I remember at the 2018 U.S. Nationals in Shreveport, I believe one of the flights, the final task was either an elbow or a land run. I don't remember, but there was a distance component. They had to fly like, I want to say it's distance anyways. Had to go like 2 or 3 kilometers beyond, and it was like a morning with really super slow winds. I wanted to say it was distance and time. They had to fly a minimum distance, but I think they were going for the least amount of time that you flew that distance on the final leg of whichever task it was. But I don't remember much about it other than that, and it was really hot.
It's always hot down there.
Yeah, that was the year that Patrick, you and I were just down there for crew. We weren't flying nationals, checking it out.
Looking at the world's task sheets, looks like they did a land run and an elbow. So the land run had a time component, so you had to do it no more than 30 minutes after you declared your point A, which is pretty quick, I guess. And then with the other one, it was, let's see, the elbow was actually had a distance component, so you sort of had to stay, or you had a limited sort of range where you could declare the points. So after you did that one, then you could only go so far. So you had to make sure that you created your points in a small enough area or radius.
I think Paul Petrin kind of ran nationals that way, where it was less time based. It was more
area based.
More, yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I'd have to look at his task sheets again, but I feel like he was pretty heavy on like declaring before a line. Like basically having areas of a circle where you can put your markers or that you need to be declaring. So it's very like, where are you in the world?
Whenever y'all are approaching the task, do you, I guess, you're really just trying to figure out, all right, how do I increase, my points and try to get the best score, right? But how do you figure that out? Like, what are you looking at in your Aussie?
For me, so like if I was just looking at this task sheet, and I probably haven't seen this task sheet ever. I first look at like any order or in order. So it's more or less like, where can I put this task that benefits me the most inside the whole sheet? Obviously, if it's in order, it's not much you can do. But if it is any order, then there's a lot of flexibility there. So that's kind of the first thing we have that fly on. That's a monster.
Oh, this day. I didn't realize it was combined with that one. That was a monster task. That could be a whole episode in itself if we want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I would have to dissect that again because that threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anyways, I kind of just look at that first. And then I kind of just start thinking about what are the forecasted winds supposed to be as far as like direction change, speeds. And then again, just try to apply it to best fit the task sheet overall. Which generally they're going to be at the end. In Worlds, the hardest task is at the beginning, and then they just get harder from there, which you didn't think they could, but that fly on proves otherwise. So yeah, I just kind of Frankenstein it if I have to, with some of the other tasks, if it's possible.
Yeah.
I would say roughly the same for myself. I think I kind of found myself if we were declaring in flight, obviously there's a lot more going on than when you're sitting on the ground or just inflating or on your way to a launch site. Excuse me. I want to say I found myself kind of like reaching out to my flying partner and being like, "Hey, where did you put this?" And what's your thoughts? Where are you declaring? When are you declaring? Because it's really easy to get flustered with everything that you have going on, especially if you're still navigating to a completely separate target half the time when you're trying to figure out what you're trying to do with this next one or where you're going to put it, or um, whatever the case may be for the flight. So I kind of found myself reaching out for help a couple of times at the 2022 U.S. Nationals, anyways. Imagine it'll still be the case again this year when we get there, but other than that, roughly about the same as what Patrick said for myself.
Yeah. Same thing. I'm just throwing win lines to see if like there's any more left that I can get if that's what I need or right or whatever, and hoping for the best. And then it depends on like in this case with it being a distance component, it's like, how do I get the most over in that? It's not a time, but basically in that distance. Or if it's time component, then how do I get as far away as possible in 15 minutes or 30 minutes, rather.
At least for the land run, right? Because that one's you're trying to build the biggest triangle, essentially. Where the elbow is slightly like it's similar, but it is different, and you're essentially just trying to go backwards. And obviously, if they have some sort of distance requirements, then you're trying to go backwards a set distance. But how do you make the biggest triangle? I've been trying to figure that out, and it seems like something of a 90 for like a land run. Mm-hmm. Assume like all your speeds are the same. You would declare essentially the same time frames.
I mean, if everything is the same, given that in the ideal world of same speed everywhere and any direction that you want to go, then in theory, an equilateral should probably be your best bet, because that's gonna. Oh no, that's a different test I'm thinking.
That's what I've always thought.
I always
too.
do that.
That's what I thought too. It seems to be a 90 degree for a land run. Will give you the
maybe best. That'd probably be worth like sitting down and just doing a bunch of tests to like different triangles, see what kind of areas.
I got a friend that's a math teacher. She's really good at math. I'll ask her.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
So
we'll come to that one.
Yeah. So what I was kind of doing, and I was just doing it on Google Maps, but I was taking their like measuring tool, and so I just draw a straight line and go a certain distance, and then I would cut back 45 degrees, and then went back up to the original point, and then took that measurement, and then did the exact same things. Came out straight line, same distance, and then went straight down, so to create the 90 degree. And then took that measurement, and then I did a third triangle, straight line, same distance, and then out 45 this way, and then back to the original point. So you have like kind of like a skinny triangle, medium triangle, and then another like longer but skinnier triangle. And it seemed like the 90 degree was the best bet. So the only thing is like speeds speeds play a huge factor in what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I feel like for a land run, speeds are that probably whatever your fastest layers are is going to be probably your best bet, regardless of maybe not regardless of direction, but like generally you're going to want more speed over a better angle if it's like
if you
a
can't
better
get that perfect
a way
landing.
better. Yeah, exactly. You're just going to want the distance because any more distance is just going to increase the total area that the triangle can cover.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm going to probably play around with that some more on Aussie and just do the little pretend flying.
Yeah.
So that way I can actually change up the speeds a little bit. Kind of test out some theories, I guess.
Yep.
So
it'd probably be good just to have like a general idea, like you said, like what's the general best shape, and then try to figure out how to make that or best angles, and then figure out how to get as close to that as possible with whatever winds that you were aware of at that point.
Yeah, because I mean you have, somewhat unlimited possibilities for like weather conditions, but you're gonna have like generally the same ones, so it'd be like almost straight lines, or like a difference of 10 degrees or something, and then one would be fast, one would be slow. One would be where they're both the same speeds, and then obviously just maximize both of those, and then just do max direction change, max kind of speed changes, and see how that goes. So I suppose just put that in a folder and or a little cheat sheet, and just play the best possible route for the given conditions.
Yeah.
Got to do that in 2 months though, so
plenty of time.
yeah,
No sweat.
Yeah. So
I'm sure that Sam won't do a land run again.
yeah, there's no way he's gonna do an elbow or a land run.
Nope.
So cool.
Anything else for elbows or land runs?
No, I think I'm good for the moment. We'll
go
deeper.
We'll have to come. Yeah, we'll have to come back to it because I feel like we asked more questions than we had answers to.
Oh, for sure. I'll get that info and report back.
Yeah, that would be good to know.
Yeah, it really will, actually. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Well, then we'll talk to you guys next time.
All right. We'll see you.
Yeah, dude.
Baggies out.